Good afternoon to you all. This has been a long journey to reach this point. You have searched for jobs, you have applied for those jobs you think your skills match. Then the employer invited you for an interview and the feedback is good. Now it's time for you to think in moving to Portugal. So, what's your next steps? And there's a lot to do. So, check for first your health information. You go to another country. So if you take medication or if you are in the future with some kind of disease, you need to have your vaccination international card. And if you bring to Portugal your health history, it's an advantage. Do you have pets, for example? You know that it's obligatory to register your pets in Portugal, in your municipality. Check if your passport is needed. If you are come from a third country national from outside of European Union, you need a passport. Do you have quarantine, immunization, for example? Um, are you thinking of bringing your car, for example, or are you coming from airplane? If you bring your car, you need more information about your documents that are needed to be registered car in Portugal. So you must think of bringing your own documents, car, and your ownership. Then you have to contact your consulate and your embassy location and contacts. Everything usually goes right, but if it's going to make something wrong with your transition to moving to Portugal, the contact from your embassy is fundamental. So settle your home affairs and check your tax obligations from your own home country and in Portugal. Besides friends and family, you have to let the following institutions know that you are moving. So you must contact your local authority, your council, your municipality to let them know that you are moving. Your post office, you need to make forward your mail for Portugal and for your new address. Your bank account, you need to access your accounts from outside of your usual country. Your landlord, if you are renting a house, is fundamental to close contracts or to keep on paying the rental house. You must tell your utility companies like electricity, gas, and water if you're gonna shut down the counter or if you keep on paying your mensual bills. Your pension administration, if you have such a plan in your own country. Your tax administration, because you may be paying taxes in both countries, and it's not uh, very smooth thing to do. Don't forget that you can still register to vote even if you leave your own country, but you may also have the possibility to vote after some time in Portugal. So these things are quite important to see. So when you are moving, you must think in how can you be supported. For example, we have seen during the day that there are some kind of supports. You've seen the Marie Curie applications. You've seen FCT mobility, for example, for researchers. But it must have another kind of supports. Don't forget that we have the TMS that can be used by UE members and citizens. So you can apply for TMS, the targeted mobility schemes. If you have Portuguese descendants, there is a program until the end of the year at least that it calls Programa Regressar, and that can be other supports to help you moving to Portugal. But entering Portugal, maybe some questions. For example, the public transportation is limited, especially outside of the main cities. The time schedules and the network is not very good, and if in the big cities it's relatively easy to transport from a point from another. In the small cities, it's not like that. So you have to think about the location and available transports like buses and railways and metro if there is to the town that you are going to work. European driving licenses are valid in Portugal. but some other countries may have bilateral agreements, and other countries may have to take and pass a practical test of driving. In many cases, drivers who establish residence in Portugal have a duty to inform the regional service district of the IMT, which is the Institute for Mobility and Transports in Portugal, in your area within 60 days. So you must check the weather conditions for where you are going. In Portugal, the weather is mild usually, but in some places may be more cold, and some places may be more hot than the others. So check weather conditions, emergency warnings. For example, like a date like today, it's very hard for us to. It's very different. Um, and you have to find out about more cultural and social living. For example, business hours, lunch and dinner times, for example, store schedule, leisure activities in the education system for your kids, for example. You must inform your family and friends about your destination, your arrival, the schedule of the flights, for example, and contacts that you have established in Portugal. There's a lot of things to do. On arrival, you have a lot of administrative procedures. The European Union citizens and Swiss nationals may register itself in 30 days, and they are able to, of their first 3 months in the country of the municipal council to register for the area in which they are living. When they register, they are issued with a registration certificate which is valid for 5 years or less if the period of residence is lesser than 5 years. The registration with the finance department, with taxes are unforgiven, gives you a tax identification number, which is called NIF in Portuguese, which allows you to work, open a bank account, or comply with tax obligations in Portugal. Registering for Social Security gives you a Social Security identification number, which call it NIS, which allows you to access rights such as support and subsidies, and to fulfill obligations related to contributions. Everybody that works in Portugal must obligate to make contributions, as we have seen in the panel of Social Security some time ago. So you need a mobile number, an email address, and a physical address to be registered in these spaces. However, Portuguese government has made a lot of improvements in the relation with the citizens. There's a lot of information about it in the EURES website that we all work with. There's a lot of practical information how to live and working conditions in Portugal, in Europe in general, but in each country like Portugal, and that's what we are talking about. There's a website that is very important for you all to go if you are planning to come to Portugal, which is gov.pt. Gov.pt is one shop stop for all documents that you have to deal with, and it gives you a lot of information about it. So if you are thinking in coming to Portugal, please go to this website, gov.pt. It's more and more complete with dematerialized documents. So requests for tax, social security, national health service numbers are available to work with at a distance. Obtain a national health service number. Request the exemption for the vehicle tax when moving to Portugal, for example. Getting a driving license. Applying for a taxpayer identification number, the NIF number, for a natural person. Apply for a social security identification number, the NIS, as you said. European citizens are available to travel, live, and do business in Portugal, but migrants has to make, don't forget, living and working in Portugal only, as we saw last panel. Raising a family in Portugal is also a theme that is worked and taught in this gov.pt. And education in Portugal for children, youth, and adults also. There's a lot of separators that can show a lot of information about it. This information is also shared in the EURES portal, so you may step in first in the EURES portal and then to reach this kind of documents, you must go to the gov.pt. And you don't forget to apply for residence visa for family reunification, as in the last panel we saw. So there's a lot of work to do before we go to Portugal. There are plenty of other websites that can assist and know more information. And there's a lot of podcasts and videos online with practical tips and about pros and cons of living and working in Portugal. For us, we must say that it's a wonderful country, a beautiful country, a very good place to work and live. There's a lot of sun, there's a lot of good food. So as we talked before, it's a good opportunity for you to move to Portugal and reach the right experience for work abroad your country. These are the only official one sites that we are sharing the information, the Euros website and the gov.pt. However, there's a lot of more. What I could say more, I have to thank you all for all the time that you spend with us seeing this event. I hope you to find the right job and the right post that you are expecting to make a future career with us. And I hope to see you soon in Portugal, if possible. I don't know if there's any question in the web, in the public chat.
No.
No, it's all clear. Okay, so thank you for being present and seeing this presentation. Don't forget you are still able to apply for jobs and wait for employers interview. So be aware, but you must register and be aware of the employer's contact. Okay, see you soon.